Well, hi again, Lowell Arch with another video edition of the fifth quarter from beautiful downtown Hamilton, and looks like there'll be at least one more video edition of the fifth quarter as somehow, someway, the Lions managed to defeat the Hamilton Tiger Cats 34 to 27 in overtime, winning the Eastern Division semifinal and setting up a date next week with the Montreal Alouettes. Quite a game. Um, Lots of atmosphere in the park, as might be expected for a team that hadn't had a game in 8 years here. And the Hamilton fans did everything they possibly could to disrupt the Lions. But Casey Printer showing some real calm and composure. I thought was the story of the game once again. Season high 360 yards passing, including some um, uh, plays in overtime that helped set up the win. Martel Mallet run and an Ian Smart touchdown run provided the winning score. After the Lions once again managed to throw it all away in the last 3 minutes of a half, it is really rather stunning how this team continues to do that. But that they did. The Lions had an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter, couldn't hold it, and had to do it the hard way. You know, the story of the game for me, maybe while it was Printers, there was a lot of other little things that really stood out for me in this one, and some of the stuff I'll point out in the paper tomorrow. I think really kind of the secondary role guys really played a big factor in this game. Referencing specifically Emmanuel Arsenault and O'Neal Wilson, guys who have performed well, but haven't been big time performers together 166 yards receiving, and I thought they were the difference in the game. Other guys that stepped up. Ian Smart, of course, on and off, got 7 touches all round and scored the winning touchdown, as mentioned. Caesar Rayford, I think, probably should get a little mention due to the fact that he had to come and play in the fourth quarter, as the Lions thought he might. Stephen Williams went down with an injury, and Rayford had to play every position on the defensive line in the fourth quarter. Also, Bobby Singh, guys whose name we haven't mentioned pretty much all year, injured, of course. The Lions used him in a double tight end set for extra blocking with Rolly Limbala, and he had to come in as well when the Lions had an injury to Darren Heerspink on the left side. Justin Sorensen went to left tackle and acquitted himself kind of rather well, I thought, in that role. So a lot of secondary guys in this game I thought made a big difference. Now, injuries. That's going to be a concern. Stephen Williams, a groin injury. They're saying not too bad, but the Lions are going to bring in a new player this week for the next game. Darren Heerspink, left foot. They're going to have it x-rayed. They're not sure. Martel Mallet walked out with an ice bag on his left shoulder, and it did not look good. Though I'm, going to wait till Monday and get a clearer report. But the Lions have had some concerns about Mallet throughout the year, and we'll see whether or not he's able to go next week. All in all, though, the Lions endured. They really had crowd issues, 7 procedure calls, one-time count, way too much, and it's only going to get worse next week in Montreal, where they're playing at Olympic Stadium, and I'm sure the crowd will be twice as big as it was today, 27,000, in a really entertaining game that Casey Printers really showed himself, though, as I said, with the help of a lot of others. Next game, as I said, 10 a.m. Sunday morning against the Montreal Alouettes. The Lions fared very well against Montreal this year. Could have swept both games, ended up splitting them, losing 28 to 24 back east on another last-minute collapse. So we'll have to watch and see whether or not the Lions survive if they have a lead going into their next game. With something to watch, more in the paper on Monday. That's the fifth quarter.